the Dukes of Hazzard once concealed a shocking scene so extreme that it was forbidden to be shown. The Dukes of Hazzard, the iconic television series of the 70s and 80s, became famous for its thrilling action sequences, breathtaking car chases, and humorous stories revolving around the Duke family and their legendary car, General Lee. With its carefree, vibrant spirit and strong Southern American charm, the show quickly became a symbol in the hearts of its audience. However, behind this perfect image lay behind-the-scenes secrets that the producers never wanted the public to know. The deleted scenes were not simply mistakes or unnecessary details, but contained sensitive, even controversial elements that conflicted with the Southern hero image the show aimed to portray. As a result, these scenes were completely cut before the show aired. Some of them revealed surprising truths about the production process, prompting viewers to question, why were these details hidden? What do they reveal about the show that no one was allowed to know? Let's uncover the shocking truth behind the scenes that were never meant to be seen. Deadly secrets behind the scenes that nearly got the show permanently banned. During the production of the Dukes of Hazzard, a series of incidents and controversies occurred, creating dramatic behind-the-scenes stories that reflected both the challenges and relentless efforts required to sustain the show's success. One of the most attention-grabbing events was the accident during the test shoot for the river jump accident in the episode One-Armed Bandits. This scene featured the General Lee performing a daring jump over a river, one of the show's most iconic images. However, the filming process for this scene didn't go smoothly. A stunt driver executing the jump suffered a serious accident due to miscalculating the landing angle, resulting in severe injuries. The incident threw the set into chaos, and to avoid controversy and protect the show's reputation, CBS decided to cut all original footage from the scene. This footage was never made public, becoming one of the greatest mysteries surrounding the Dukes of Hazzard. In addition to dangerous stunts, behind-the-scenes drama between the two main actors, John Schneider, Bo Duke, and Tom Wopat, Luke Duke also pushed the show into a major crisis. In 1982, both actors left the production during Season 5 due to disputes over image rights and profits from merchandise. Schneider and Wopat realised that despite being the faces of the show's success, they received no share of the enormous revenue generated by merchandise such as General Lee car models, t-shirts, hats and toys. This unfair situation led to a fierce battle between the two actors and the producers. At the peak of the conflict, production on an episode was completely halted. A pivotal fight scene between the two main characters, intended as the highlight of the episode, was scrapped entirely to avoid tarnishing their images. This decision not only disrupted the storyline, but also left the viewers feeling disappointed. The show also faced backlash over controversial costume choices, particularly involving Daisy Duke, played by Catherine Bach. In the episode Repo Men, Daisy wore a jumpsuit deemed too provocative and inappropriate for television standards in 1979. Critics claimed the outfit was too short and revealing, prompting CBS to cut the scene entirely to avoid negative viewer reactions. Following this incident, the studio implemented stricter costume regulations for Daisy's character, humorously referred to as the Daisy Duke shorts length limit. While this decision was necessary to meet broadcast standards, it left fans both curious and regretful, turning the incident into a minor but memorable scandal. One of the most significant controversies regarding the show's content was its depiction of moonshine running, the illegal transportation of homemade alcohol, a hallmark of Southern American culture. Initially, the Dukes of Hazzard intended to delve deeper into the moonshine trade as part of its storyline to authentically portray Southern culture. However, CBS became concerned about the political sensitivity and potential backlash surrounding the topic. As a result, all scenes related to moonshine running were removed. A 1978 draft even included scenes where Bo and Luke's father was shown transporting illegal liquor, but the episode was never aired. The removal of these elements left many fans disappointed, as they felt the show had lost a piece of its historical and cultural authenticity. These incidents and controversies not only disrupted production, but also created a treasure trove of deleted scenes and mysterious behind-the-scenes stories that left fans both curious and regretful. Despite these challenges, they highlighted the immense pressure and obstacles the production team faced to keep the show going. These stories not only added depth to the Dukes of Hazzard, but also solidified its status as an essential part of American television history. The daring stunts, unforgettable costumes, and occasional controversies have turned the show into a timeless classic that continues to captivate audiences even decades later. Deleted scenes for unbelievable reasons. Into the classic series, The Dukes of Hazzard, alongside its exhilarating action and humorous content, a series of amusing small errors left a distinctive mark on viewers. These errors were not just random mishaps, but sometimes added to the entertainment, making the show even more unique. One of the most notable errors was in continuity within the script and visuals. For instance, in the first episode, there's a scene where Cooter steals a police car and drives away. However, when the car passes across the screen, the driver appears to be a police officer with a star on his uniform. When the plot reveals the real driver, it's Cooter, creating a humorous contradiction that made viewers laugh. Or in the episode The Ghost of General Lee, the General Lee car sustains severe damage after a collision, but moments later it appears fully intact, as if it had the ability to self-heal. This absurdity added a strange charm for the audience. Additionally, in the episode Follow That, Steel Roscoe's police car gets damaged and its neon lights disappear. Yet a few seconds later, in the next scene, the car appears with the neon lights fully restored, as if nothing had happened. These errors didn't diminish the show's quality, but instead enhanced its entertainment value and endeared it even more to fans. Another notable issue occurred in Season 5, when the two main characters, Bo and Luke Duke, disappeared from the story. The cause stemmed from a contract dispute between actors Tom Wopat and John Schneider with Warner Brothers. To address their absence, the script introduced a plotline where Bo and Luke left Hazzard County to join a NASCAR race. However, this created a major logical flaw in the series. According to the storyline, Bo and Luke were on probation for illegal moonshining, meaning they were not legally allowed to leave the state. Their participation in NASCAR, a national competition, was completely illogical and unrealistic, leaving fans astonished by the writer's creativity. A minor yet intriguing error involved the name of Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane. In many episodes, his name was spelled Roscoe, but in others it was written as Roscoe. This inconsistency puzzled viewers who were unsure whether it was an accidental mistake or an intentional joke by the production team. Nevertheless, this didn't detract from Roscoe's charm. On the contrary, these small, quirky details made audiences love this humorous and memorable character even more. Another special detail came from the contrast between the character Boss Hogg and actor Sorrel Book in real life. On screen, Boss Hogg was a greedy, obese and scheming figure, but in real life, Sorrel Book lived a completely opposite life. He was an outstanding scholar, a graduate of prestigious Ivy League schools, and possessed exceptional intelligence, speaking multiple languages fluently. Before becoming an actor, he worked in military intelligence, a profession requiring sharpness and discipline. His physical appearance was also far from Boss Hogg's. Sorrel was not obese and had to wear a padded suit throughout filming to fit the role. These details not only highlighted the difference between the character and actor, but also demonstrated Sorrel Book's incredible acting talent, earning him even more admiration from fans. These small errors and fascinating facts contributed to the unique charm of the Dukes of Hazzard. They not only made the show more lively, but also gave fans more things to discover and cherish over the more than 4 decades since its debut. Shocking behind-the-scenes stories. If the action scenes in the Dukes of Hazzard left you breathless, then get ready. The behind-the-scenes stories are even more chaotic and shocking. What happened behind the camera was not just sweat, blood and tears, but at times even lives lost. Behind the spectacular action scenes, tire-burning drifts and daring jumps was a series of tragedies and losses that few could have anticipated. The show was famous for not using CGI or special effects, relying instead on real stunts which made the Dukes of Hazzard feel vibrant and authentic to viewers. However, this decision turned the set into a highly risky and dangerous place. In 1980, a serious accident occurred on set claiming the life of Rodney Mitchell, an assistant cameraman. During an action sequence, a truck carrying filming equipment suddenly lost control, overturned, and crushed Rodney before he could escape. This was not a staged scene or a cinematic effect, but a real tragedy that left the entire production crew in shock. The atmosphere on set immediately became heavy, and Rodney's passing served as a painful reminder that behind the thrilling scenes were sacrifices the audience would never see. It wasn't just people who suffered. Even the biggest star of the show, the General Lee car, met a tragic fate. The bright orange 1969 Dodge Charger with the number 01 on its doors and the Confederate flag on its roof was not just a vehicle, but a cultural icon synonymous with daring stunts and the Southern American spirit. However, to create the legendary scenes, the production destroyed over 300 General Lees throughout filming. That's right, more than 300 valuable classic cars were hurled off bridges, smashed through fences, and sent hurtling into ravines, all to deliver breathtaking action for the audience. Each car could only survive a few jumps before becoming a pile of scrap. By today's market value, the destroyed cars would total $70 million, an astronomical price for creating a classic masterpiece. To ensure safety and balance during jumps, the mechanics team modified the General Lee by loading cement into the trunk to prevent the car from flipping mid-air. Even so, very few cars survived the daring stunts. The constant need for replacements forced the production team to scour the US for more 1969 Dodge Chargers, to the point where this model nearly disappeared from the market by the time the show ended. But the General Lee wasn't just a car, it was a true star. While the main cast received thousands of fan letters each month, the General Lee led the pack with over half of the 60,000 letters sent to the show's production team. Fans weren't just interested in the car's specs, but also requested photos, expressed their admiration, and some even sent love letters. The General Lee wasn't just a vehicle, but a piece of childhood, a vibrant cultural icon, as beloved as a close friend in the hearts of its fans. The behind-the-scenes stories of the Dukes of Hazzard weren't limited to tragic accidents or material destruction, but also revealed the immense sacrifices made to create a legendary production. Rodney Mitchell's life, hundreds of destroyed Dodge Chargers, and the tireless efforts of the production team are all testaments to the dedication and passion that brought unforgettable scenes to life. But these stories also highlight the steep price paid to create a classic. However, there's no denying that without the General Lee and its daring stunts, the Dukes of Hazzard would never have achieved its iconic status. The sacrifices behind the camera laid the foundation for the show to become an irreplaceable cultural landmark in the hearts of its fans. Despite the high cost, the legacy of the Dukes of Hazzard remains a beautiful memory in the history of global television. The show, nearly cancelled due to disputes. One of the biggest controversies in the production history of the Dukes of Hazzard was the massive revenue generated from merchandise related to the series. The show wasn't just famous for its content, but also created a money printing machine through products like General Lee car models, t-shirts, hats, posters, toys, and countless other items. These merchandise sales brought in millions of dollars for CBS, the show's producer and distributor. However, the shocking part was that the lead actors, the faces who brought the show to life, didn't receive any share of this revenue. This injustice became the catalyst for a tense battle between the cast and producers. Schneider, Bo Duke, and Tom Wopat. Luke Duke, the two most beloved figures of the series, spearheaded a fight for fair compensation. They demanded CBS share the profits from merchandise and increase the salaries of the lead actors since they directly contributed to the show's success. However, CBS initially refused outright, arguing that actors had no right to interfere in commercial earnings. The escalating conflict led to Schneider and Wopat going on strike, resulting in their departure from the show during the filming of Season 5. Their absence forced the producers to introduce two new characters, Coy and Vance Duke, described as distant relatives of the Duke family. However, this change was a disaster. Fans rejected the replacement characters and the show's ratings plummeted. The flood of protest letters to the producers grew, pressuring CBS to concede. Eventually, Schneider and Wopat were invited back with higher salaries and a share of merchandise profits. Their fight wasn't just a personal victory, but a landmark event in television history, paving the way for other actors to demand fair compensation from commercial profits. Another controversy that shook the foundation of the Dukes of Hazzard was the Confederate flag printed on the roof of the General Lee. In the context of the 70s and 80s, this flag was seen as a symbol of Southern American culture, representing pride, rebellion, and a carefree lifestyle. However, by the 2010s, the flag's meaning had shifted. It became a focal point of criticism, viewed as a symbol of racism and slavery in American history. As the controversy over the flag's meaning intensified, Warner Brothers, the rights holder of the series, decided to cease production of all merchandise featuring the General Lee with the Confederate flag. This decision shocked longtime fans who saw the car as a cherished part of their childhood memories. Adding to the shock, several major television channels announced they would stop airing the Dukes of Hazzard, arguing that the image of the car with the flag was no longer suitable for modern society. This incident divided fans into two opposing camps. One side argued that the show should be preserved as a cultural artifact of its time, while the other believed that continuing to promote the Confederate flag was unacceptable in contemporary society. This controversy not only affected the reputation of the Dukes of Hazzard, but also placed the show in a difficult position, having to balance historical value with societal pressures. The disputes over copyright money and politics nearly buried the Dukes of Hazzard in oblivion. Yet despite all challenges, the show maintained its position as an American cultural icon. The return of John Schneider and Tom Wopat not only restored the show's reputation, but also proved their importance in creating its success. Though debates over the Confederate flag remain unresolved, no one can deny that the Dukes of Hazzard has left an indelible mark on television history. From thrilling action scenes and humorous moments to the legendary General Lee, the show overcame all obstacles to become an irreplaceable part of many generations' memories. Whether you love or hate the Confederate flag, the Dukes of Hazzard remains an unshakable monument representing a golden era of American television. The Dukes of Hazzard is not just a television show, but a symbol of an era, an essential part of American entertainment culture. The contentious behind-the-scenes stories, from copyright and commercial revenue disputes to politically charged symbols, highlight the reality that success never comes easily. The show faced numerous challenges, from tragic losses and contractual disagreements to the pressure of rebranding for modern times. Yet despite everything, the Dukes of Hazzard has remained a legend. Its daring stunts, genuine humour, and the iconic General Lee have etched themselves into the memories of millions of fans worldwide. The show doesn't just bring laughter and thrills, but also serves as a reminder of a colourful era in American television. Though controversies surrounding it persist, no one can deny that the Dukes of Hazzard has left a lasting legacy that transcends time, continuing to live on in the hearts of its fans. Like the bold jumps of the General Lee, the show overcame all obstacles and ultimately landed spectacularly secure in its place as an irreplaceable monument in television history. Thank you for watching the video. The Dukes of Hazzard is not just a show, but a timeless cultural icon. Despite controversies and challenges, it remains deeply cherished by fans. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating stories. See you next time.